Hey everyone, and welcome to this Python project tutorial. In today's video, we are building a company performance analyzer using Python. In this tutorial, you will learn how to load and clean Excel business datasets using Pandas, how to handle missing values in the right way, how to analyze sales, profit, and performance matrices, how to visualize your data using Matplotlib and Seaborn, how to export your results into a clean and professional Excel report. Now before writing the code, let me show you the output we will generate in this project. When I run the program, you will see four visual charts appear. Total sales per product, total sales per region, monthly sales trend, and sales versus profit scatter plot. These visuals help us quickly understand which products are performing best. And once all charts are displayed, something cool happens. Python automatically generates a new Excel report inside our project folder. First, I will show you the test data that we are basically providing as input to this Python script. So this is basically the raw data. And let me now close this file and open the Excel file that was generated as the final output of our project, the company performance analyzer report. When I double click and open this file, you will see the first sheet contains the cleaned raw data. Everything is properly structured and ready for analysis. In the next tab, we have sales per product. This is one of the biggest advantage of running our Python script. We automatically generate clean, separated data sheets. And in the third tab, we have sales per region. This gives us quick breakdown of how each region is performing: east, south, west, and north. And finally, we have the monthly sales sheet. And now let's move on to the test data file that we are basically giving as input to this Python script. So these are the basically folders: date, product, region, sales, quantity, profit, and month. And first I will close this Excel file. And then I will create here a new Python file, and I will name it as company_performance_analyzer.py. So we are completing this project in 7 simple steps. Step number 1 is import libraries. So I am adding this comment here with the equal signs just for clean formatting and better readability. Now the first library I'm importing is import pandas as PD. Pandas is used to handle and analyze the dataset. Things like reading the Excel file, cleaning the data, grouping it, etc. Next, import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. We use matplotlib to create all the visualizations, bar chart, line chart, scatter plots, etc. And then I'm importing Seaborn library. Seaborn help us create better looking, more visually appealing plots and simpler code. And in order to get clean and modern plot styles, I'm writing here a line: plt.style.use Seaborn v0_8. So here we are done with our step number 1, and now let's move on to the step number 2, that is to load Excel file. So I'm writing it as a comment, and then I will be using here a variable file_path, and then I am writing here r and inverted commas. So we use r to make it a raw string, so Python reads the backslashes correctly in a Windows file path. And then I will right click here on this Excel file, and I will copy the path from here, and I will paste it inside of the inverted commas. So this is basically our file path. And in order to read the Excel file, I'm writing here df is equal to pd.read_excel, and inside I will be pasting basically this variable file_path. This line reads the Excel file and stores the entire dataset inside a data frame called df. And here we are done with our step number 2, and now let's move on to the step number 3, that is display original data. And I will write this step number 3 as a comment. And then I will start the step number 3 with a print statement: initial data. And I will use here basically df.head, and this shows the first 5 rows of the data set, so we can quickly confirm what the data looks like. So df.head simply let us preview the first 5 rows of the dataset. Now I am duplicating these lines and updating the text so that the next section shows the data info. When I use data info, it gives me a complete overview of the dataset, including the number of entries, the data types of each column, and whether any values are missing. And finally, to view the statistical summary of the dataset, I am using df.describe, which provide useful information like count, mean, minimum, and maximum values for each numeric column. When I run this program, you will be able to see the first 5 rows using the df.head. This is displayed here, initial data, and the next one is data info. You are able to see here no entries are missing, 27 non-null values, and here you can see the data types of each column, and then you are able to see the statistical summary, count, mean, minimum, maximum values of the statistical columns are being displayed over here. So here we are done with our step number 3, and now let's move on to the step number 4, which is handling missing values, and I will write this as a comment in the code. To handle missing values, I'm using df.fillna, and inside the parentheses, I am opening a curly bracket. And yes, this is a dictionary. That means we are specifying each column and the value we want to fill missing entries with. For first 2 columns, sales and quantity, I want to replace any missing value with a 0. If you look at the test data, you will see these columns, and filling them with 0 makes sense because they are numeric and represent counts or accounts. Next, for profit column, if anything is missing, I'm filling it with the mean, which is simply the average profit value in a dataset. For categorical columns, region and product, I want missing values to be replaced with string, unknown, because these columns contain names, not numbers. And finally, I am using in place is equal to true, which means the changes are applied directly to the original data frame. And there is one more step here, converting the date column into a proper date time format. As you can see in the dataset, we have this date column, and in order to convert it into proper date format, we have to write pd.to_datetime. And we are doing this here because in later stages we will be analyzing the data and we want the data to behave correctly. So here we are done with our step number 4, and now let's moving on to the step number 5, which is analysis part. We will do the analysis in 3 steps, and the first thing we calculate is total sales per product. What we do here is we group the data by product column in our dataset. So I'm writing here df.group, and inside of this bracket I will be writing here product, right? Then for each product we sum all the sale values, and for that I'm writing here dot sum, and after that we sort these total sales values in descending order, and for that I'm writing here ascending is equal to false, which means the product with the highest sales comes first. And then we will print the results so we can clearly see which product sold the most. And next we do the total sales per region. This is exactly the same process, but instead of grouping by product, we group by region column. We sum the total sales for each region and sort them in descending order to see which region has the highest sales, and then we print the result to display it. And finally, we calculate the monthly sales trend. For this, we group the data by month column and sum the sales for each month. So I will replace these values with the monthly sales, and I will print here monthly underscore sales. And with this, we are done with our step number 5. And now let's move on to the step number 6, which is visualization, where we will represent these numbers in charts for easier understanding. So first we start with sales per product, which we already calculated in step number 5 for visualization. The first thing we do is set a fixed figure size so the chart looks clear. So here we are setting as 8 comma 5. Then we use a bar plot to represent total sales per product. And here for x-axis we use the product names, and for y-axis we use the sale values. And next we add a title to the chart, which is total sales per product, so viewers can easily understand what the chart shows. We also label the x-axis as product and the y-axis as sales. After that, we use title layout to make sure all labels and the titles fit neatly in the figure without overlapping. And finally, we use pld.show to display the chart. When we run this, we can clearly see the sales per product along with proper labels and the title. And for the second figure, which is sales per region, we do almost the same thing. We copy the previous chart setup and just replace the product information with region information. Everything else remain the same. Fixed size, bar plot, title, and axis labels all remain the same. And now moving on to the third figure, which is going to be the monthly sales trend. And here we will be making few adjustments. We will be changing the figure size slightly, 10 by 5, because we want to fit all the monthly sales clearly here. And instead of a bar plot, we use a line plot here with the markers so we can see the trend over time. So I am writing here kind is equal to line and marker is equal to O. I will be changing here the title as well. This is going to be monthly sales trend. For X label, this is going to be month. For Y label, this is going to be sales. And now let's move on to the fourth figure, which is sales versus profit scatter plot. So most of the setup remains the same. The figure size will be 7 by 5. We use here a scatter plot to show the relationship between sales and profit. On x-axis we put sales and on y-axis we put profit. So sales comma profit. The title is going to be sales versus profit scatter plot. On X label this is going to be sales, and on Y label this is going to be profit. If I run this program, you will be able to see these four figures. This is going to be the second, third is monthly sales trend, and finally the fourth figure is sales versus profit scatter plot. So here we are done with our step number 6, and now let's move on to the final step, that is step number 7, which is saving output to an Excel file. So here we need to specify a file path where the final report will be saved. For convenience, we can copy the previous file path and rename it as output underscore path. We can also change the file name to something meaningful like company underscore performance underscore report. And this is going to be the report that will be generated when we run this code. And next we use pd.excel writer with the output underscore path and set the engine to open pyxl. This line basically creates a writer object that allow us to save multiple sheets into a single Excel file, and I will show you that in our output Excel file as well. And now saving the data in the Excel sheets. These are going to be the Excel tabs. So first I will be writing here df to Excel, and the sheet name is going to be clean underscore data, and setting index is equal to false. Ensure that the row numbers are not included in the Excel sheet. Next line is going to be for sales per product, and this tab will also be saved in the same Excel file. So here the sheet name is going to be sales per product. We copy this line 2 more times and make small changes. For second sheet we save sales per region. So I'm writing here sales per region, and for the third line this is going to be monthly sales. And finally we will print a message saying report saved successfully. so that when we run this program, we know everything has been saved correctly. And when we run this program, you will see the same four figures for analysis. And watch very carefully inside of this directory. After these four figures, a new Excel file company underscore performance underscore report has been created. So first I will be showing you the test underscore data. So this is the Excel file, which is basically our raw data set. And now I will close this file and I will open company performance report that is basically generated by our code. The first tab contains the clean data set with the correct date format. And the second tab shows sales per product. The third tab shows sales per region, and the fourth tab shows the monthly sales. And that basically concludes this project. In this project, we have learned how to clean and pre-process a dataset, how to handle missing values, how to analyze sales data by product, region, and month. We also have learned how to visualize the results with charts and save the analysis to a multi-sheet Excel report. So that's it for this tutorial, guys. If you find this video helpful, then please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.